I'm trying to live stream my Zoom as well on YouTube. Once that is up, I'll start. So good evening, everyone. Welcome to Crypto Pulse Weekly with Dr. Demi. As you know, we usually will go through our regular 4 agenda items, and that's the market review, which is basically the news. We'll talk about crypto vital signs, which is essentially a bunch of technical and fundamental analysis. And then we'll talk about crypto drip, which is essentially a knowledge transfer section that talks about a specific aspect of the cryptocurrency world. So let's get started. In terms of market review, things are interesting as usual. As you probably will know, Bitcoin has sustained 11K for the last 2 weeks. There were a lot of speculations about the market dropping to below 10,000, but we're yet to see that happen. And that's very telling on what is to come. Another thing of note in the last 1 week is around Ethereum and his much younger brother called Chainlink. Ethereum is well known. Chainlink is not so well known like Ethereum. Chainlink is like supposed to be the grandfather of DeFi coins, which I'll talk about later. They've both seen significant gains in the last 1 week. So in the last 1 week, we've had almost 14% gain on Ethereum and over almost 70% gain on Chainlink. I'll tell you why that's important. You see, Ethereum is the younger brother of Bitcoin, and anything that's happening to Bitcoin usually does not happen to Ethereum. And when things are not happening to Bitcoin, then things start happening to Ethereum and all the other altcoins. However, what's happening is that Ethereum is getting a lot of traction in the recent days and the last week because of something we are planning to talk about today, which we'll talk about in our crypto deception, DeFi. I'll talk about DeFi later, but that's one of the main reasons why the network hash rate of Ethereum is at a 20-month high. It's one of the main reasons because Ethereum provides a platform for many of the cryptocurrency tokens that we have today. Chainlink is a DeFi coin, and Chainlink has also done 70% in the last 1 week. We've also seen some sentiment happen in the last 1 week where gold suddenly crashed 30% and silver about 80%. I think that was Wednesday when Russia came and said they had the vaccine for COVID. Now, just to interpret that news in brief, what happened there was that the news that Russia had a vaccine reduces the inflationary risk that investors are seeing from the government intervention. So the expectation is that the government will intervene in the economies and then they will pump in more money, which will reduce the amount, the value of the currencies, generally speaking. So because now Russia is saying they have the vaccines, it's going to put the other guys in sort of a pursuit, all the people who have their vaccines in the world, because whoever gets their vaccines out and approved first makes the most money. That's essentially what it is. But in terms of how it affected Bitcoin, on that day, you will notice that even though gold dropped 30% and silver dropped almost 80%, Bitcoin dropped from 11,800 plus to 11,002 and was back to 11,600 by the end of that day. What that tells us is that more and more cryptocurrencies are becoming more resilient to the markets. And as you will find out in the subsequent news, many institutional bankers, and this is something I've talked about since December last year, many institutional bankers are now looking towards Bitcoin as their hedge against market volatility, which I'll talk about in the next 2 slides. Now, this news around MicroStrategy. MicroStrategy for it's a business. It's an analytics company, and basically what they've said is that they're going to make Bitcoin their reserve assets. And to back up their intention, they openly declared that they purchased 21,400 Bitcoin in the last 1 week. Now, to put it in perspective, that company MicroStrategy is about 1.2 billion in market value, but they are owned by a much bigger conglomerate called BlackRock. BlackRock is one of the biggest investment companies in the world. So essentially what it means is that BlackRock and Vanguard, who have majority stakes in MicroStrategy, are indirectly getting exposed to cryptocurrencies. The other thing is that there are a lot of news that came out during the week around, Wall Street trying to use Bitcoin as the hedge against mainstream equities volatility. And that's what I explained in the phenomenon that happened on Wednesday, when Russia said they had the vaccine to COVID and the market crashed briefly, and Bitcoin refused to crash below 5% and still recovered back. So it tells us that no matter what is going on, the resilience and the establishment of the Bitcoin bull run is in place. The other news I wanted to bring to our notice was this. I don't know how many of us saw this during the week, but if you had bought Financial Times, the paper, during this week, you will have seen these adverts from Galaxy Fund Management saying now is the time to invest in Bitcoin. I mean, if this is not saying it, I don't know what else can be saying it in very clear terms. Galaxy Fund Management is one of the big investment firms in the world that openly saying it now that, guys, we think this is the way to go. And the same thing happened for, I think, Grayscale. Grayscale did it was a video ad talking about from cowries and shells to digital assets, and sort of trying to create an evolution in people's mind that the concept of money is evolving. Now, what this is telling us is that all the projections from last year that institutional bankers and institutions are going to get involved in Bitcoin is coming to pass by and by. And what it means is that institutions are getting bolder in their positioning of Bitcoin. And it means that new investors are coming to the market. And like I always say, that we still have about 500 million investors in the stock market today who are not in the Bitcoin market. And the Bitcoin market is still sitting below 400 billion market capitalization. So if we take our usual analysis that I talk about, that the equities market is in trillions, and the equities market decide that they're going to put 5% of their strength in Bitcoin, it means that the market valuation of the whole Bitcoin market today will more than times 3 itself. So it's important to note that, one, for any cryptocurrency you hold right now, it's a valuable asset in the months and in the years to come. And Bitcoin in particular, there have been a lot of speculations. People have said, it's going to do $155,000 in the next 12 months. Some people have said 100,000. But I think the general consensus is that we expect Bitcoin to hit the peak of about 100,000 in this current bull run. Another interesting one was this one I saw just before we started this session, and that was around StormX. StormX is a cryptocurrency that's partnering with various companies to provide cashback in form of their cryptocurrency for customers. So they just partnered with Walmart this week to add cashback to the loyalty platform Walmart to allow people to get cryptocurrency each time they use their loyalty platform in Walmart. Now, for Walmart to have taken them on, it means either Walmart has stakes in them or Walmart is going to benefit. Whichever way, it's all speaking to more and more adoption of cryptocurrencies on the markets. So, I mean, overall, I think it's been good news, generally speaking, for the cryptocurrency markets. In terms of our vital signs today, I'll run through a number of analyses as I usually do. And the first one, as I usually explain, is this analogy of the equities market, the crypto market, and altcoins. So we take the equities market like the sun, the crypto as the earth, and the altcoins as the moon. Now, in real terms, what it means in financial terms is that the equities market of the US is always dangling around 35 trillion. Cryptocurrencies market capitalization is currently around $371 billion. It has made a gain of $25 billion in the last 1 week. And that's why I put that there. So last week, it was less than this number. It was less by 25 billion. So in the last 1 week, the market has gained another $25 billion. Now, in terms of internal distribution, because altcoins are a subset of the crypto market, altcoins have gained 84 billion in the last 1 week. So most of the movement that happened in the last 1 week in terms of price appreciations happened on the altcoins, and that's why they've gained this much in the past 1 week. Our market dominance for Bitcoin has sort of come down from I think it was about 61.2 or 60.8 last week to about 52 now. So it means that the altcoin market is also gradually expanding. And I'll explain why that's possibly happening at this time, in the time to come, in the slides to come, sorry. This is my usual slide of the daily charts of Bitcoin against the US dollar. And like I explained last week, that the ascending column is a technical analysis that shows, the direction of price. And that usually if a price formation is established like this, it tells us that there is an established bullish trend, which means the market is going up for a while. And if it has refused to break the lower edge, then it means the market is still expected to go up. Now, this was where we were last week. And this is where we are now this week. Now, this week, the market is still consolidating below 12,000. So it's tried 12,000 since last week. It's tried to break 12,000 unsuccessfully. And what we're having is what you can call, they call it an ascending triangle. It's almost like a squeeze. So two things that are likely to happen when we get to the end of this squeeze here is that the market breaks down or the market breaks up, or the market will become very volatile and try to break out in either direction. But one of the other is going to happen. My guess is that the market is probably going to break upward of 12,000. The market breaks upward of 12,000, then you probably find a lot of noise on the markets around Bitcoin. But that's for technical analysis on the daily charts. Then in terms of sentiment, last week our sentiment was already extreme greedy at 77 on the multifactorial crypto sentiment analysis. To this week, it's gained one more. So everybody is greedy on Bitcoin right now. Another very interesting perspective is what has happened over the last 1 year in terms of sentiment. So you would observe that all through 2019, it's always been dangling around 40. 40 means, people are afraid and not ready to commit. From 50 upwards means people are ready to commit and are happy to get to the market. And you saw that all through beginning of the year. This is COVID, initiation of COVID, all these parts that you saw below 20 when everybody was risk averse and nobody knew what was going on. But since then, you've seen that we've jumped to the 40s range. Now we are sitting, 70 to 80s range. So people are more greedy now. People are more comfortable getting into the market, essentially. That's what it means in terms of fear and greed sentiment for cryptocurrencies. And of course, the short-term forecast for Bitcoin is still showing strongly buy, meaning, everybody is still piling on. And I need to explain, all this analysis against the backdrop of what has happened. So in May this year, there was a phenomenon called Bitcoin halving, which essentially dropped the production rate of Bitcoin. Now, this happens every 4 years and causes the price to spike. Now, when the price spikes because of reduced demand, then the price continues to spike because other people want to pile in and get a bit of the pie, so to say. But this is different, as I explained, or as explained in December last year, and I've explained repeatedly that this is different because now it's not just individuals who are getting interested in the market. Institutions are now getting interested. So there's going to be unprecedented price jumps in the months to come. And like one of my mentors said, he said, this is a truly once in a lifetime generational transfer of wealth. That's if you are more than 30 years old, there is likelihood of you not seeing this kind of opportunity again. And that, you know, it was trying to advise us not to look at the daily volatilities of the market and, you know, step back and look at the big picture. So the big picture is the world is gradually transitioning from the known traditional forms of money and banking into digital assets and cryptocurrencies. So let's move on. I showed this last week, and this was just to explain the various stages of market cycles. And what I was saying then was that the market is at the point of highest financial risk when optimism is completely through the roof. We're not yet there. We're still around hope and optimism. We're somewhere here right now. We're closer to optimism now because everybody's starting to see that this rally is real. Well, in another 9 to 10 months, we'll be in this area, and some of us will be, you know, some of us will be very rich around this time because the prices will definitely be through the roof by that time. But it just tells you how to position in the securities markets and, you know, having an understanding of where you are. You know, there's a saying I like, that strategy is always in the context of the environment. You cannot apply strategy outside the context of the environment. In the same way, you cannot apply investments outside the context of your market cycle. You need to know where you are in the market. And right now, this is where we are. By the time we're here, I mean, people should have cashed out and just be, you know, spending some time in the Bahamas. If you are still in the market at this point, then you might regret it because you might be down to this level very fast. But generally speaking, I think we're in good stead. Like I told someone, between now and the end of October, we expect that the market is going to keep on rising until end of October when there's US election in November, and then the market will dump. Not because the outcome of the election will affect the long-term, you know, trend. It's just that people will be surprised either way. Either Trump wins or Trump doesn't win. There will be people surprised on both sides of the divide, and the market will just use that opportunity to sell off. So if you're trying to get into short-term trades, now is the time to get your longs on and plan to sell by the end of October. Not a financial advice, as some of my very good friends will say. So let's go into Crypto Drip, which is a knowledge transfer for the week. Today we're talking about DeFi. And, you know, there's a lot of noise around DeFi. And what DeFi is, you know, it seems to be the new buzzword in the cryptocurrency world. Basically, DeFi is decentralized finance. And that concept comes from the ideology that the current financial systems are encumbered by, you know, brick and mortar processes, regulations, and all sorts of roadblocks. Now, the concept of DeFi is the same, is an offspring of the concept of cryptocurrency. The concept of cryptocurrency was a way to sidestep the fiat overload of the banks and the governments in terms of issuance of currency and find a peer-to-peer way of exchanging value. That was what started cryptocurrencies. So in the same way, DeFi is an attempt to sidestep the banks, and instead of using the banks, we'll just now use computer blockchain and a set of rules, which is essentially what cryptocurrencies are, because it's computer blockchain and a set of rules that program and determine how the thing behaves. But in this case, it's a bit different. So DeFi is built on platforms like Ethereum and Cosmos. And what it does is that it replaces the intervention of middlemen or even centralized institutions or computers, and replaces them with smart contracts. So I'm going to explain what that means. In today's world, actually what should have brought in a slide. If you are part of the session we did on crypto architecture, where I talked about the exchange, your wallet, and the blockchain, you will remember that I said that the exchanges are like brokers who do the buy and sell, and they collect a spread on top of it. Now, the exchanges in a way are still centralized because both the buyer and the seller still need to come to the exchange as the arbitrator of the purchase or the transaction, and then the exchange executes that transaction as a broker and collects a spread or collects the charges. Now, instead of having the exchange, what DeFi is trying to do is to make the computer the exchange, but in such a way that the governing, the superintendent of that transaction, permit me to use that word, is no longer the exchange itself. It's a smart contract. And what are smart contracts? Smart contracts are programs that run on decentralized blockchain. They're like automated. For guys in IT, smart contracts are like batch jobs or like background jobs or like programs that are automated and run on their own based on a set of parameters or a set of rules. So what this does is that if I wanted to, let's say, I wanted to buy a particular cryptocurrency, and that cryptocurrency is only available on DeFi, what it means is that instead of going to a normal exchange, I will go to a DeFi exchange like Uniswap, which is a common DeFi exchange, and just connect my wallet to that DeFi exchange and then make a bid or sale. So if I wanted to sell Ethereum and I say I want to sell my own Ethereum for $398, I don't want to sell it for $440 that it's going for. All I need to do is connect my wallet, maybe my Trust wallet or my MetaMask, connect it to Uniswap, which is a DeFi exchange, and then place my order there. So it's almost like a blockchain offline P2P in a way, but it's governed by a set of rules, and it uses information from both centralized exchanges and blockchains to determine its governing rules. And for the benefit of context, DeFi, I'll talk about it maybe in future weeks. DeFi is like the buzzword for this current bull run. In the last bull run in 2017, it was all about ICOs and IEOs. ICOs then were initial coin offering, like IPOs. So usually, buzzword comes with each phase. So this phase, the buzzword is DeFi. So if almost everybody wants to go DeFi now, even coins that were not DeFi before are now saying, they have a DeFi partnership. Everybody wants to go DeFi just to appeal to old commerce. Let me use that word, old investors in Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies. For new investors, they're probably just fine with buying Bitcoin. But for older guys or people who have witnessed the former bull run, they will be more agitated or be more excited with the concept of DeFi. And to put it in context, these are the top 10 DeFi currencies. And as I said, Chainlink is number one, and it's the one that has done almost 70% in the last 1 week. Chainlink was actually recommended last year by one of our analysts to say that, this is a potentially very strong product that would bring forward the DeFi evolution in Bitcoin, in cryptocurrencies. And since then, it's gone from, what am I saying? It's gone from less than $2 to $16 in 1 year. And currently, it's still going to do more. It's probably going to, at this rate, it can do anything between $100 and $1,000 in the next 1 year. Don't quote me. I'm just saying, that's the projection. So if you want to buy Chainlink, you can still buy Chainlink. I'm still probably going to buy Chainlink when I have the money to. Maker is in the same category. The reason Maker is very pricey as it is because the circulating supply is just about 1 million. So when you look at the circulating supply and you look at the market cap, it's bound to go up. Any small input of funds into the asset is bound to go up. Same thing for compound, same thing for synthetic, same thing for band protocol. In fact, Swipe, let me talk about Swipe. Swipe is supposed to be a card payment token for Binance platform, the Binance chain and the Binance organization. But they've now decided to make it a DeFi token. And on the back of that, earlier this week, it had gone up to about almost $6 before coming down to $3.95 today. So these are DeFi coins. I mean, if you go into CoinMarketCap and do CoinMarketCap/DeFi, you will see these coins as a DeFi coins. So if you're looking for alternative investments to Bitcoin, yeah, I'm very pro Chainlink, probably because I know what they've done. In fact, let me put it this way. People have made publications to badmouth Chainlink. I've received emails from anonymous investment companies telling me that Chainlink is fraud and I should sell my Chainlink tokens. So, of course, I didn't respond. And when I checked the link, I saw it was a phishing email. So I just like, okay, the more reason to buy more Chainlink. So I went and bought more that day because it's obvious that there is something trying to, get them out of the way. So yeah, Chainlink, goodbye. I used to have some ZRX, but it's not performed too much. Well, it's done fairly well this week as well on the back of the Chainlink bandwagon. So that's why, or the back of the DeFi bandwagon. Sorry, that's why these guys are driving Ethereum, because Ethereum is the backbone of most of the DeFi currencies. Okay, so questions and answers. I think I've done well today. I was planning for 30 minutes. I'm ready to take questions from guys on Zoom, and I'm ready to take questions. If you have questions on Instagram, just type it in and I'll read it.
Thank you very much, Dr. Demi.
Welcome, sir.
Sorry, I was having issues in logging. Thank you very much. Concerning device, I ran into some YouTube videos saying that device has a lot of risk. Just as then, when everybody ran into ICO and a lot of fake. I have so many coins that I bought then that they've never been listed on any exchange, and even some mushroom exchange that eventually left. So I don't know. I can't understand this area. The guy said he bought some DeFi coins, but he prefers to buy more of Ethereum that they depend upon than them. That if he has $1,000, he would prefer to put 60% in Ethereum and the remaining 40% on DeFi, because nobody can predict what eventually happens as regards the DeFi. So that was the reason why I brought it up last week.
Yeah, he has a fair point, because the very concept of DeFi makes it more anonymous than the current blockchain. So it means you're using Ethereum blockchain, for instance, anonymously to orchestrate transactions between parties on the Ethereum blockchain.
Okay.
So and that's why I said many many coins have jumped on the bandwagon of DeFi now, saying we're DeFi coin, we're going DeFi, all in the bid to just sell their quote and unquote, sell their markets, because DeFi is the buzzword for this crypto run. And that's why I said that just like ICO was the buzzword for the last crypto run, DeFi is the buzzword for this crypto run. And because of that, you will have a lot of coins claiming to be DeFi. One very good example is that one they call YAM. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. YAM went from 60 million valuation to zero in 24 hours. So be
Dangerous.
very careful about any coin that comes and say they are DeFi.
That
And that's
yam is a disaster. Serious disaster. I wonder if those who went into it, I don't know, but it's a serious disaster.
Somebody said, would it make sense to buy Ethereum? Yeah, you can buy Ethereum. Ethereum is the next to Bitcoin, so you can always buy Ethereum.
Yes.
But I'm more of a Chainlink fan than Ethereum, because Chainlink still has a longer way to go than Ethereum. But that yam is a very funny, it's a serious yam.
All right. Thank you.
Yeah, then there's another one. There's another one I need to point out. There's another one called Hex that's been advertising all over London. Please be careful. I don't think it's a valid project, to be honest. I've seen posts of crypto influencers on social media saying that they're being offered Bitcoins to say good things about them. So please be very careful about Hex. I don't think it's a reliable project. Be very, very careful about it. If you're going with any DeFi at all, apart from Chainlink and SNX, honestly, and apart from Ethereum, which is the backbone that they're running on, I wouldn't advise anybody to go into it. Well, Band Protocol is a newcomer. It's doing well right now, so I will trade it. If it comes down now, I will buy it and sell it off later. But it's not something I'm going to keep for the next 9 months. Definitely not. It looks good currently. Band Protocol looks good, but I'm not, I'm not confident long term. Chainlink, I can still hold Chainlink for another 10 months before I start selling off. But Band Protocol, I'm not sure about that. For instance, ZRX is also a project that's been around. I mean, those are the real DeFi, to be honest. ZRX, SNX, Chainlink, Maker, Compound, they've been around before all this noise around DeFi. So those ones, I have more confidence in them. And in terms of general, what's it called? General platform, I think Ethereum is still the motherboard for all of them. So if you're not comfortable with any of them, you can still go ahead and buy Ethereum. Ethereum was doing how many thousand the last bull run? So Ethereum probably do 4,000 or thereabouts this particular bull run, if not more. Probably more, actually. Ethereum probably do much more. So
Yeah,
that's
because
why.
of DeFi.
Yeah, because of DeFi, Ethereum probably do.
Somebody is saying that it can hit 7,500 or
Ethereum is also
5,000.
moving to Ethereum is also moving to Ethereum 2.0. So that's also something that's likely to drive the price higher. I buy Ethereum, but I don't buy Ethereum for the purpose of buying Ethereum. I buy it for the purpose of fuel. If I need to move stuff out of wallets, because in my mind, Ethereum is probably going to do times 10, just like Bitcoin. It's already heavily capitalized. And I look at it from pure return on investment standpoint. If I put in $1,000, how much do I get back? If I can get back, so if I put in 1,000, let's put it this way. If I put $1,000 in Bitcoin, it'll probably give me 10,000 at the peak of this run, or 10,005 or 15,000 or 10,005 max. Ethereum probably give me 12,000. But if I put that in Chainlink or
Money.
NMR, that's a lot of money, because
Yeah,
Chainlink is currently around $15. If I put that in Chainlink can do 1,000 in this run. $15 to 1,000 is more than, how many percent is that?
Mm.
Pardon
Yeah.
my math.
Several thousand.
Yes, it's a lot of 1,000% as opposed to just,
Yeah.
it's probably like 100x or thereabouts as opposed to 10x from Ethereum and blockchain. So that's the way I view the crypto investment.
Dr. Demi, that's the investment perspective to it. So you calculate the return, the ROI, return on investment. So for the Chainlink, you have a higher ROI percentage compared
Absolutely.
to.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I bought
So
Chainlink before it was
that's the
$10.
way to look at it. Yeah.
So if I have 100 Chainlink that I bought at $5, and Chainlink does 1,000, that's 100K for what? $500. So for that same $500, if you put it in Bitcoin, I'll get maybe 5K max. You get my drift.
Yeah.
So it's pure, for me, it's pure ROI,
Definitely.
ROI based.
And that's the main thing, not to just buy any coin.
I mean, some people are collectors, so some people just want to collect Bitcoins or want to collect Ethereum. Me, I want to make money. Sorry.
Don't forget I am your brother. I'm still here.
Okay, Doc. I have a question. Good evening.
Good evening, David.
Yeah. Thanks for sharing with us this evening. It's quite an interesting one. I think this is my first time of joining your webinar. So, thumb up for you. Amazing job. A quick one. So, I bought Chainlink when it was $3 point eight something, right? So currently, but the point is, I bought just few. So currently, looking at the price now, is it because this market is all about sentiment and all that? So I don't know where it's going. I actually know that probably will be doing well, but at what point do I make exit? Because the idea of everything is that there's entering and there's exit. So should I hold it for the next 10 months, 1 year? I mean, will we still see the price skyrocketing, or I should just exit the market as it is now? Your advice. It's not a financial advice, but your thought around it, sir. Thank you.
Before we hear the professional advice, let me tell you what I did. I just saw 1/3 of what I had, taking advantage of that, and I used the money to buy CRO.
Okay. which is good. Which is no,
What I did.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Well, my advice. So two things. I mean, most of you guys are very rich guys. Me, I'm not a very rich guy.
It's a lie.
I'm an upcoming artist.
Doc, you see where they leave that matter.
I'm bringing bullion van to your house.
Right.
So, for people who are already, depending on where you are, where you are in your financial journey, so to say, some people already have, estates. People like Mr. Kadi already have estates all over the world.
It's a lie.
They have huge portfolio of real estate. They are fine, they are fine to just, move their portfolio around. But generally speaking, I think people should look to sell just a bit. At least when you see the price at 50,000, it's a good point to sell off and take some profits. The reason I say that is because from 50,000, Bitcoin price might just in 1 week or two just go to 100,000 and come back. So, but at 50,000, what it means is that the original price at which you bought that commodity, regardless of what that token itself is doing, the original fiat price at which you bought that commodity has done 5x. So
Yeah.
at that point, I think it's a good point to take some profits. Now, for me, what am I going to do with my profit? I'm going to buy properties. I'm probably going to invest in other new opportunities that comes up in the crypto space. But on the long term, speaking on the long term, this is a totally brand new asset class that's going to change the way we invest, generally speaking. And it's here for the long term. So it's not as if this is just a flash in the pan of Nigerian stock market that made money for 3 years and then dumped on everybody. No, this is a new asset class that is coming on board to the world, generally speaking, and it's here to stay. There are children that are born today that not that children that are born today, their only investment vehicles that they'll probably know when they grow up will be cryptocurrencies and gold and silver derivatives. If you talk to them about stock, they'll say, "What's that?" Because they will never get to know it. So of course, you can always sell off some of your initial capitals. For instance, let me give you a typical example. I bought Swipe, SNX. I bought Swipe when it was about, I can't remember the stats, before the DeFi story came on board. Then when DeFi story came on board, they were just talking about it. I just went to check. I'm like, come to think of it, this thing has done 3x and come back. They're like, you know what? There's no point keeping this stuff. I sold off because it was really pumping hard. So I sold off all the Swipe I had, and I found out that I made 2x plus. Now, of course, I'm taking that money to other cryptos and bought other stuff, but I made my profit from it.
Yeah.
Nevertheless, and in fact, I think I needed money, so I took out my initial capital. I said, okay, I can use this money now. The original capital has done its work, and has given back to more children, quote unquote. So you need to
grandchildren, great grandchildren.
Sorry?
Grandchildren and great grandchildren.
You need to determine if you need I think that I should use the word if you need the funds, or if you want to divest into other asset classes. So some people have said, after this run, we should buy gold, we should buy real estate. I'm not really, I'm not a big
gold is not anything.
I'm not a big fan of gold. I can't carry gold around everywhere I'm going. So I prefer, real estate that's fixed and, digital assets that are easy to move around. So yeah, at 3x, 5x, you should be willing to take out your initial profits. That's my advice. And then if you want to complex, what do you call it now? Compound into other crypto assets, you can do the same to improve to increase your overall portfolio.
Yeah.
But don't sell your Chainlink. By the way, that's specifically speaking, don't sell your Chainlink until probably you see Bitcoin at 50,000.
Oh, okay.
It's not a financial advice, but I don't think.
I know.
You'll be shooting yourself with the leg if you did that.
Doctor. Yeah, you should be very vigilant too.
I have something to say about Chainlink.
Yes.
I bought Chainlink when it came up, I think last year.
Yeah.
Is that Dr. Lalere?
No, that's not Dr. Lalere.
Okay. I didn't know anything about Chainlink.
Go ahead, Mr. Albert.
Okay. I divided a Chainlink into two, put one off exchange, and I was capping around, I think, about 70 Chainlinks or so. So I was capping, and once after selling all the Chainlinks, waiting for it to come down for me to buy again, it did not come down. Keep on rising, keep on rising, keep on rising, keep on rising. What foolish have I done? So all the same, after it has risen, though it down, but it did not, the price did not come down to where I sold mine.
Originally, yeah.
I still went ahead and bought. I still went ahead and bought it at that higher price.
Yeah.
But speaking to you now, I have made about 2 or 3 times
that
of
high
the money.
price.
Yes. And this time I've decided not to stop again. And I have taken it off exchange and put it into my Just Liberty wallet. So Chainlink, don't joke with Chainlink. Hey,
Yeah.
don't joke with Chainlink. Don't joke with Chainlink.
It's a very strong.
I think after any bullish trend of DeFi tokens, few days after, Ethereum will shoot up. I read online 2 days ago that in some all these DeFi exchange platform that Ethereum was already $400. So I told my wife, I said, in the next 3 days, that all exchanges that Ethereum will go up, and it does. So it seems that's why I have been studying it, but I'm afraid to go on DeFi's looking much, except the one our guy recommended now, the Chainlink.
Yeah, so I don't trade on DeFi. So DeFi is like trading on an exchange, only that the exchange is not run by anybody. The exchange is what Yoruba people call Ojuolomoto.
Are you talking DeFi or decentralized exchange?
Decentralized
DeFi is the same thing as DeFi, decentralized exchange.
Decentralized exchange is running on DeFi principles. So if you took your money to what's the name of this one now? That was causing problem for DeFi. Was it Uniswap? That was one that was causing problem in the past 1 week. I think
It's Uniswap.
Yeah, it was Uniswap.
MBA.
I'm not even sure which one. But generally speaking, I'm only interested in buying their tokens and selling them on the short term. I'm not interested in involving myself right now in that space because it's the current buzzword, and there will be a lot of fake outs and false positives. Just like in the days of the ICOs, there are all sorts of crazy what they call shit coins. Permit my friend, but there are so many shit coins that were not going anywhere and that were not doing anything. But because of the bullish run, people just jumped on the bandwagon, and so everything now, they will say they are going DeFi. Swipe is now DeFi. All sorts of new and old tokens are saying they're now going DeFi. But in the real sense of it, it's probably going to be a lot more sophisticated than that in the months and the years to come. I think DeFi will probably include some components of artificial intelligence and machine learning. So I think it's going to be more complicated than what it is right now. And if Ethereum goes to Ethereum 2.0, then it's even going to make it a bit more sophisticated than what we have now. But I'm only here to enjoy the ride and have a nice time. So for me, I'm buying and selling as I see.
Thank you so much, Dr. Demi. I've got to go now.
All right. Any other questions?
Have a nice weekend.
Yeah, you too.
Dr. Demi, good evening.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening, sir. Good evening, house. Yeah, this is Rotimi.
Yeah, hi, Rotex.
Yes, okay. My question will simply be, which is in line with what we've been talking about. What do you do when, is there room for a short-term dealing in all of this?
Hold on a second. I just saw somebody on my Instagram now. Okoyemi Farmer King, I see you. I see you in camera. Unfortunately, you came late to the party, but I see you nevertheless. Same thing with, I think I see Demi and Second Tade and Demi Akiteriwa as well. Hi guys on Instagram. Well, we're done the main session. The main session usually starts around 7:30. So we run through the main session. So we're just doing question and answers now. So, Mr. Rotex, as I was saying to you the other time, you can buy any coin right now, or I can give you 3 coins to buy right now that you make some money from in the next 2 months. I can't tell you how much money you're going to make from it, but
I better call the coins, so thank you.
I love that.
Everybody's interested.
Everybody's interested.
Yes.
Okay.
Doctor, not prophet, he sees far.
just to just to go back to some of the ones I mentioned earlier on, I said these are the top DeFi coins. Out of these DeFi coins, I can tell you that you're still going to get price appreciation on Chainlink. Chainlink is down by 6% now. Chainlink is going to grow over the next 2 months. You can expect anything between 50 to 100%. Kyber Network is another one, and Kyber is growing because they partner with Crypto.com. So I expect Kyber to make some gains as well. Generally speaking, I think that Ethereum is going to make about 50% over the next 3 months. Then Bitcoin itself will probably see 12,000 to 15,000 by the end of October. And because, as I said, the bull run has started, but usually what happens is after the Bitcoin halving, there's usually about a 6-month period of cooling off before the market really takes off. But the market is taking off prematurely because institutional investors are preempting November, which is US election. So they want to bank some money before November. In November, they will crash the market after the election, regardless of who wins, by the way. And then the market will pick up from end of November. You can expect the market to pick up from end of November to August next year in full flight. So as I said, you can buy Chainlink, you can buy KNC, you can buy synthetics actually, SNX, number 5 on the list. Synthetic will probably do very, very well in the long run.
You mentioned
It's one
Kyber
of the
Network.
recommended. Yeah, I mentioned Kyber because they have affiliation with Crypto.com now. Of course, our favorite Crow. Crow has been silent now. Well, I know something is brewing. And by the time it comes up, everybody's going to be blown apart. You know, I'm a huge fan of Crypto.com.
Crow is not on this list. That's a different.
Yeah,
it's not
Crow is not a DeFi coin. Crow is
a different. Okay.
And you know, everybody knows that I'm bullish on Crow, and the reason is that they've succeeded in creating a complete cryptocurrency ecosystem, and they have the most robust user adoption interface, if I might say that. And they've also provided a platform to make sure that people can come into cryptocurrencies and can be comfortable from day one. So what most people are familiar with today is the price of growing up and the staking. But beyond staking, they have what you call crypto credits, where they can actually loan you physical cash in terms of stable coins against your crypto assets as collateral. What that does is for people in the West, where the government might want to come after you for tax, you can totally evade, that's not evade, but avoid the tax, but by taking a loan against your assets. Nobody can tax your loan because it's a loan. So you take a loan against your assets, and that's not taxable anyway.
And at what was their rate?
The rate is 8% APR. And it's the loan to value ratio is 50%. So yeah, I think Crow will, by November, I think Crow should be in the units in dollars. Don't quote me, but that's my expectation. And because, as you probably know, they're also trying to launch mainnets sometimes in November. So mainnet means they're going to get their own blockchain. If they get their own blockchain, then the prices are going to go crazy. And then they have the liberty of either burning the remaining token on issue tokens or burning everything. So that usually drives prices crazy. And that's less than 3 months' time. So those are my recommendations short term. Breward said that when it comes to trading, is it better to use USDT? Yeah, so for trading, Edward, you need to use exchanges. So you can use the crypto.com exchange, for instance. It's linked to your app. When you sign up and connect it to your app, you can connect it to your app directly. I use exchanges like crypto.com exchange. I use Binance. I use Bittrex. I use Hotbit, Hitbits. All this. I use exchanges generally speaking when I want to trade, and that's because I used to trade forex for over a decade, so I have very good trading skills. So I use exchanges when I want to trade. But if I just want to buy Crow, or buy Bitcoin very fast, I just go to crypto.com and buy from them. But if I want to trade, I use the exchange. The app is not suited for trading. The app is just to onboard you into the world of crypto. I hope that answers your question. If it doesn't, I will see you after the service, as they say. Any other questions before we fire out for the weekend? Okay, I think we're good. Thank you everyone for joining.
All right, thank you.
That's a quick one. Though I came in late, but what I want to know is it if you are trading often, is it advisable to continue keeping your coins on the exchange platform, or you take it off the exchange platform? If you want to trade, then you send it.
Well, it's a controversial question because the function of risk aversion and how comfortable you are in taking risk. So some people say not your passkey, not your money, and because of that they keep their money in decentralized wallet, or they keep it on Ledger Nano, which is the external drive. However, if anybody lays access or gets access to your Ledger Nano, that's the end of your money. So I equate currently Ledger Nano, or keeping the money in decentralized wallet, as trying to keep money at home. I mean, I don't think keeping money at home is the safest thing to do. There are exchanges that are quite stable, that have reputation. So in terms of comfortability, exchanges that I'm comfortable keeping my money on, I'll say Coinbase, because Coinbase is well established. I would say Binance, because Binance is well established. I would say Crypto.com, because Crypto.com has heavy security. So those three exchanges, I think those are my top three. There are others like Bittrex, who are US based, or Kraken, who are US based as well. But those are my top three if I was going to pick top three, because not only are they secure exchanges, they are also very well capitalized and they are insured. And for Crypto.com is regulated in about 10 or 18 countries or thereabouts. So these are serious guys. To put it in context, there are some guys that were hacked on Binance in 2018 to the tune of $40 million. I mean, Binance just told them, like, guys, don't worry about it. They refunded everybody's money within a week, and they went after the guys who took the money.
Really?
They blacklisted their blockchain addresses. So those guys till today can't use that money. They can't use the blockchain, the Bitcoins that they stole. So that's my
necessarily contributed to shortage of Bitcoin in the system.
But that's where people that have lost their passphrase as well. I'm one of those people that lost my first Bitcoin that I bought, £500 worth. I lost the passkey till date.
Oh,
so that one is gone with the many with the many Bitcoins.
But Doc, Coinbase, I learned it is only open to people who reside in US. They can only trade on Coinbase. Is that true?
Are you in Nigeria?
No, Ghana.
Ghana. I don't know, to be honest. I'm in the UK, so I'm not sure whether it's not only
I registered on Coinbase. I called you now. I told you that I registered, but it's in Naira. So the thing pissed me off. And there's no way you can change it to they didn't allow you to change it to dollar. So I just abandoned the exchange. I registered there and everything is okay. They allow you.
Yes, me too. I've registered there and everything is okay.
So what I can advise Albert is that you register on KuCoin. KuCoin is actually a very good exchange. It's Hong Kong based.
Yeah. Okay.
It's Hong Kong based, but it's a very good exchange. They're also very secure.
Okay.
And they now allow you to use MasterCard to even deposit them.
Yeah.
Oh, I see. Gradually, they are all improving.
Yeah, we'll get there. And when we come out,
I think this exchange also is very good. Cranking or
yeah, Kraken is also good. They have a third party that helps them with integration with third world countries, quote and unquote.
Okay.
Kraken is US based, but they have another company that those who ask you for your mother's name and your father's surname before they eventually register you, so that you can send funds in dollars and receive funds in dollars. But it's
today
otherwise
has
it's very
been
good. Yep. All right, gentlemen and ladies, thank you very much. See you again next week. Have a lovely weekend and God bless.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Yes, bye.